Sharks fans to be loud and proud. However, the MIAA, Hockey League, Middleboro, and Milford expect you to cheer for your team and not cheer your opponents. Please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all playing, officiating, and everyone in attendance. This includes cheering for your team and not cheering the opposing team. Ensure that your behavior reflects the values that should be identified with these dedicated student athletes. The MIAA does not allow any players, coaches, or officials' names and numbers to be called out during the event. Inappropriate or unsportsmanlike conduct will result in ejection from the premises without warning. Please represent yourself and your schools accordingly. As a reminder for the safety of everyone in attendance, only players, coaches, officials, and game personnel are permitted on the court. There are no exceptions to this rule. This includes during play, at breaks in the game, and immediately following the game. Thank you for setting a good example for others and for your cooperation. Our great nation has persevered through the leadership and sacrifice of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces. At this time, we invite both veterans and current military personnel to stand and be recognized. And now for this evening's starting lineups. First for the Stations of Middleboro. Number 10, Andrew Rivera. Number 14, Luca Testa. Captain, number 13, Jake. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise for the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by Milford High School student athlete Rhea Matthews.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the gymnasium here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet with you on the call as we get a little bonus coverage of this 2023-2024 winter sports season. The boys basketball team making a nice early run through the 2024 MIAA playoff tournament, and tonight they enter into the round of 16 in the Division II state bracket, facing off against the Middleboro Sachems. It is a packed crowd here in the Milford gym, a raucous atmosphere already, and without further ado, it is time to jump into this playoff matchup, and it is Middleboro who controls the opening tip. We'll get you your starting fives for these two teams momentarily as we bring you into this coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics, now presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. So pleased to unveil our brand new presenting sponsor of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV moving forward. And a great game for them to make their debut as our presenting sponsor. And meanwhile, it is Ryan Marzelli for the visitors who gets the scoring started. It is Marzelli along with Brady Roach, Matt Youngquist, Zach Iwanski, and Jackson Davenport, the starting five for the visiting Middleboro Sachems. And for the Scarlet Hawks, it is CJ Farrell, Andrew Rivera, Jake Soares, Luca Testa, and Tyvon Robinson. Milford with a victory on the road in the round of 32 against Neshoba. And then with a little bit of luck on the bracket, found themselves with a home game in the round of 16 as the number 22 seed in this Division II bracket. Middleboro, the number 38 seed out of the 42-team field in this Division II bracket. They're on a Cinderella run of their own. We'll start to get into how these two teams got here tonight as the broadcast goes along. Still a 2-0 lead for Milford, but a deep three knocked down by Matt Youngquist. And that is a name that Milford's going to need to watch out for here tonight. Recently named the MVP of the South Shore League, which is where Middleboro operates out of. A missed bucket for the Milford scoring leader, Andrew Rivera, and a little 5-0 run to start the night here for the Sachems. And they go right back to that shot from nearly the same spot on the floor for Youngquist, but this time it's offline. Still 6 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the early stages of this playoff matchup. And again, just an absolutely outstanding atmosphere here in the gym. Not a seat to be had, and still more fans trying to get in, as it is Luca Testa who rattles in a three from the corner to get Milford on the score sheet. Now Middleboro out on the perimeter. And Milford able to draw the charge. A nice defensive play here for the Scarlet Hawks. The foul called on Brady Roach, so he picks up an early foul. And again, not easy to see the scoreboards, not easy to see the corners of the court right now with the fans just spilling out nearly on top of the playing surface. As Testa will inbound here from the near sideline. A 5-3 score here with Middleboro out in front early. Soares with an ill-advised bounce pass that gets easily picked off by Dylan Cavell. And then a quick runner to the basket is offline, but Middleboro able to control the rebound. And now looking to get back inside, and the foul is called. Tyvon Robinson is going to pick up a foul, so right now the team fouls 2 for Middleboro, 1 for Milford. And then a nice move as Davenport was able to create a little bit of space. He drops it in going over Robinson. And a 4-point advantage now for Middleboro as Rivera now will launch a deep three. Short rimmed, and Middleboro controls the rebound. Quick outlet pass. And now Milford able to pull off the steal, but a pass up the floor a little bit too quick. Milford was not ready for it, and then it is the answer for Youngquist, who has now an early 5 points. Milford looking to get their legs underneath them offensively. Here's Rivera now, and he slips that one in, and a chance for a 3-point play. Now, as if we didn't have enough interesting plots and subplots going on into this round of 16 matchup, another thought hovering in the back of the minds of Scarlet Hawks fans is the career point total for Andrew Rivera. And as he puts home the free throw, he came into this matchup today 45 points shy of 1,000 points for his high school career. And so it would certainly take an otherworldly performance for Rivera to get to that number here tonight, but you just never know in the playoffs, so that's certainly something that we'll monitor here as the game goes along. And meanwhile, it is Cavell who answers back for Middleboro. An 11-6 lead here. Middleboro has had the lead from the jump about midway through this first quarter, as Farrell has a little bit of space. His shot is off the back of the rim. And the rebound once again is controlled by Middleboro. That shot floated in, no good. Milford controls the defensive rebound. And now contact, Soares able to recover. And he dishes the pass ahead to Rivera. And now back up top to Soares. 19 seconds on the shot clock as Rivera drives to the free throw line, but his shot is offline. And Milford looking for the block from behind, but they will pick up the foul. They will call the foul on C.J. Farrell, so he picks up his first foul here in the first quarter. As we'll get a timeout here on the floor with 3 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the first quarter. So that gives us an opportunity to catch our breath here a little bit. We want to welcome everyone in officially to this playoff coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Tim Coed here with you on the call. And so as we look a little bit at the big picture numbers for these teams on the season, Milford comes into the matchup tonight. They finished in 5th place in the Kelly Rex Division standings in the Hockomock League. An overall record at the moment at 10-11. Meanwhile, Middleboro, as we mentioned, operating out of the South Shore League's Sullivan Division, they finished in 2nd place in their division standings. They finished the regular season at 12-8. They've picked up a couple of playoff wins since then. They had to play a preliminary round game against Reading Memorial, which they were able to just squeak out a 2-point margin of victory on the road for their first upset win of this playoff bracket. Then they moved on to the round of 32, where they faced off against 11-seeded Hopkinton. Hopkinton, the heavy favorite in that matchup, but that is not how things played out, as Middleboro earned a comfortable 71-58 victory. And with that upset win combined with Milford's victory in the round of 32 against Neshoba, that solidified this matchup taking place here at Milford High School tonight. As we're back out of the timeout, Dylan Cavell shooting free throws. He misses the first. The jungle fully engaged. The student section fans absolutely jam-packed. Really not a seat to be had on this entire court. This is about as big a crowd as I think we have ever seen in our Milford TV coverage. All of these fans excited to get another opportunity to see this team in action. Now that shot good for Marzelli, and so right now Milford still having to play from behind here. As we get a foul underneath the basket, looks like it's going to be called on Cavell. Milford to inbound with 2:56 to go in the first quarter. Tyler Ballard out on the floor now for Milford, as is Gus Catino. Gave this team a nice lift when he came back from injury about midway through the season. As now Milford is going to get whistled for the foul. So the foul's starting to mount here early in this matchup. Still 2:45 to go in the first quarter. Tyler Ballard now picks up his first foul. It's the third team foul for Milford, 4 team fouls on the Middleboro side. Middleboro with the ball and a 7-point lead. Hot pass just pulled down on the baseline by Middleboro. And now this rebound swatted back out in the direction of Catino, but it ends up getting plucked away by Iwanski. And Milford going to get whistled for another foul. This will send Jackson Davenport to the line. It's the second foul in about the last 30 seconds or so for Tyler Ballard. So meanwhile, Middleboro 0 for 3 from the free throw line so far. Davenport misses 2 free throws. Dylan Cavell missing a couple of free throws earlier. And Milford will now inbound with 2:18 to go in the quarter. Free throws really went Milford's way and were a big factor in their win against Neshoba last Friday night. In particular, C.J. Farrell and Andrew Rivera went perfect from the free throw line. Combined, they went 13 for 13. And meanwhile, it's Gus Catino who will shoot the first Milford free throws tonight. I beg your pardon, the second free throw. Andrew Rivera successfully completing a 3-point play earlier in the period. These are the first points here tonight for Catino. And he's able to calmly make both baskets. The Milford deficit now at 5 with just over 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 1. Youngquist on the perimeter gives way to Marzelli. And now a good feed down low. Milford collapses down defensively, but the bucket is good for Davenport. He has 4 first quarter points, and now a quick steal here. And Youngquist with an easy layup. And instantly the lead expands to 9 now for the Sachems, as Milford misses an easy bucket from inside the free throw line. And right now this transition game has Middleboro all kinds of pumped up. Marzelli picks up another easy layup for Middleboro. He has 6 first quarter points. This forces Milford into a timeout, and right now Middleboro looks to be the faster and more aggressive team right now. Milford has missed some relatively easy buckets here in the first quarter. And so the Scarlet Hawks here on their home floor with all kinds of energy flowing in their direction finds themselves in an 11-point hole now. We mentioned Youngquist in the previous timeout. He is definitely a big factor for this Middleboro team, recently named the South Shore League MVP. As we take a look at his numbers on the season, he averaged 19 points per game, 2.5 assists, 2.5 steals. His biggest game of the season came against Randolph High School, where he dropped 41 points as part of that victory. And so he is a player that can really put this team on his back and score points in bunches. But they've got a good supporting cast around him as well, including Jackson Davenport, who averaged 12 points during the season. Ryan Marzelli averaged 8 points during the season. So a lot of players on the floor that can hurt you. Here's Testa now He misses the jump shot, and the rebound is collected by Youngquist. And about to tick down to the final minute of a first quarter that has not gone particularly well for the home team. And meanwhile, Marzelli drops in another bucket, up to 8 points here. And meanwhile, the foul is committed by Maddie Evers. That's going to send Andrew Rivera to the line. It looks like we'll see Farrell and Soares return to the floor momentarily. Milford with just 2 baskets made from the floor in this first quarter. Trying to cut it back down to an 11-point margin. Farrell ends up missing the free throw. Franklin had the rebound. Now Milford secures it. Rivera for 3, and it rattles home. Well, Milford will take the exchange. Rivera misses the second free throw, but ends up rattling home Milford's first 3 of the game, and it's now a 21-12 score. And there's Youngquist. Nine points for the Middleboro scoring leader here in the first quarter. Shot clock turned off now. Stokes into the game off the bench. He gets the basketball here. The lane to the basket quickly closes off, and it's back outside now for Rivera. And he'll put in a contested shot. And Rivera looks like he's starting to settle into this one. He's up to 9 points. 2 seconds left. And an off-balance shot looks dangerously close there for Marzelli, but it doesn't go in. And at the close of the first quarter, it is Middleboro continuing their Cinderella run with a very hot start here in Milford tonight. They lead the Scarlet Hawks by a score of 23-14. We'll take a very quick timeout here on the broadcast, and we'll start the second quarter for you in just a moment as you enjoy coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail. Back for the start of the second quarter here on Scarlet Hawks Athletics, coverage on Milford TV presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. It's a 23-14 lead for the Middleboro Sachems. As we continue on into this round of 16 playoff matchup, Rivera able to save it after his shot was blocked. Now CJ Farrell, they will wave off the bucket. They'll say the foul occurred on the floor. The Milford fans hate it. Foul on Ryan Marzelli. He picks up his first. Farrell now will test his luck from the near wing. The shot is no good. Youngquist grabs another rebound. And he goes coast to coast, but whiffs on the layup. And Soares is there to clean up the glass. A miss now on the Milford side. Rebound cleaned up by Maddie Evers. Marzelli now from distance. Count it for 3. And CJ Farrell now again gets contact as he goes up for a shot. Foul called on Zach Iwanski. Farrell's first points of the night. One more free throw for a chance to cut it to a 10-point deficit. So Milford shooting well from the line. They're 6 out of 7 so far. Marzelli again dribbles inside the three-point line this time. His shot is short, but Middleboro there for the rebound. Milford with a thunderous block, but Middleboro keeps the possession alive, and eventually it is Evers who contributes. And so that's 5 players now on the score sheet for Middleboro as Luca Testa slips down the baseline. He puts in the bucket. He's up to 5 points in the half, and the margin again stands at 10 points. Right now, Milford struggling to find a way to slow down this Middleboro offense. This shot in and out, but again, Milford can't box out. And Evers cleans up the glass, puts in another bucket. Middleboro lead 12. Here's Robinson now. Can't get that one to roll in. But he will head back to the line for the Hawks. Matt Youngquist getting a little breather on the sidelines, but right now seated in front of the scorer's table, so for him to return to the floor imminently. Robinson ends up missing both free throws. Hawks fortunate to have the chance to inbound here. Now Rivera. This is the shot, directs the rebound over towards Robinson. Now Rivera will try it again. This time his shot is true. Rivera up to 11 points in the half, but still Milford trails by 10. A little over 5 minutes remain in the first half. Youngquist now back to Marzelli. Marzelli nearly losing his footing, recovers, and now Middleboro called for the travel. Middleboro calls the timeout. That stops the clock with 5:04 to go. So again, as we take a look back at how things have unfolded so far in this Division II bracket for these two teams. In particular for Milford, they entered in as the underdog in that matchup against Neshoba. Milford the 22 seed, Neshoba the 11 seed. But in a slightly lower scoring game, Milford was able to pull off the victory. Once again led by Andrew Rivera. He scored 24 points in the game. Good performance for C.J. Farrell as well, who had 14 points. Luca Testa with 9 points in the win. And meanwhile, as we mentioned, Middleboro most recently securing a victory against a team Milford knows very well in the Hopkinton Hillers. And meanwhile, Tyvon Robinson able to put one in to cut the deficit momentarily, at least, down to single digits. And now that ball somehow staying on the court. It gets knocked away from Soares again. And in the end, possession here is going to go back to Middleboro. It's a bit of a wild sequence there, but Middleboro able to inbound with an 8-point lead and now just under 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. A little up and under is good for Youngquist. A lot of shots in the bag of tricks for Youngquist, who's now up to 11 points in the half. Back up to that 10-point lead. That's where it's been hovering now as C.J. Farrell with a nice little alley-oop play to Tyvon Robinson. Robinson's second bucket here in the second quarter. So the offense starting to show some better signs here in the second quarter for Milford, but they've got to get more stops. Meanwhile, they're going to call the foul here on C.J. Farrell. He'll pick up his second. Catino perched at the scorer's table for Milford. As Youngquist misses another free throw. Catino will replace Jake Soares, so Farrell will stay out there. And finally, that one just does rattle home for Middleboro after they missed their first 5 free throws. As Rivera struggled to pull down that pass, but then misses the bucket. Now we get a foul here called on Middleboro.
Foul on Middleboro, number 24, Jackson Davenport. First personal, fourth team foul.
Foul on Jackson Davenport, so he picks up his first. Robinson now with space, dishes to Farrell in the corner, shot no good, and the rebound controlled by Youngquist. Here's Middleboro again with speed up the floor. Now Robinson trying to defend underneath the basket, but Davenport able to have his way. He's up to 6 points. Now Farrell trying to scoop that one up and in, no good. Robinson was there initially with the help, but he couldn't put it in. Good defense for the Sachems, but now Milford with the steal. And Middleboro answers right back. Active hands for this Middleboro defense at all times. Milford's going to protect that basketball better than they've done so far. Lead now up to 13 points. As now Iwanski's going to pick up the foul. Coach Dale Olson continuing to mix and match out there. It looks like we'll see Ryan Franklin return to the floor momentarily. The head coach for Middleboro is Joe Paws. So Milford giving themselves a fighting chance thanks in most part to their work from the free throw line. As meanwhile off the bench, Aiden Gallant banks in a three. It's the third three-pointer knocked down in this half by Middleboro. Up to 40 points now. As Farrell answers back with 2. That is his first points from the floor. Middleboro lead 12, less than 2 minutes remaining in the half. Youngquist one-on-one against Rivera. Now Franklin comes to help, but Youngquist able to float that one in. Such good touch around the rim. 6 points in this second quarter, up to an even 20 now in the half so far. Quick catch and shoot for Luca Testa, but the shot is no good. And Middleboro able to out-hustle for the rebounds. This team playing free and easy with no pressure, as now Gallant knocks down his second 3. And that forces Milford into a timeout. Up to a 7-point Middleboro lead. So again, Middleboro right now giving Milford some haymakers here in the first half on their floor. And again, a huge crowd here in the gym. A lot of fans from both schools represented, and it is the Middleboro student section across the floor that right now is having all kinds of fun at Milford's expense. Middleboro already back out on the floor. Milford now about to follow suit, with Rivera, Farrell, and Soares, Testa, and Tyvon Robinson. 1:14 to go in the half. It's Farrell who will advance the ball into the front court. Quick dish to Robinson, who tries to set a screen. He gives Farrell a little bit of space, and the shot bounces through. Farrell up to 8 points in the half. 4 of those have come from the free throw line. Less than a minute now to go as this pass gets knocked loose. And Milford able to collect it. Trying to get a couple of buckets here to close out this half. But instead, Rivera's shot gets blocked. Here's Marzelli up the floor. And a nice feed to Youngquist, who allowed the defender to blow by before he put in an easy layup. Farrell rushes the shot. It's no good. Ball ends up out of play, and Milford will have a chance to inbound. A quick substitution here as Youngquist will head to the sideline. Farrell trying to time that inbounds with the leap of Robinson, but the two could not connect, and now it is Middleboro who will have a chance to play for the final shot, leading 47-30. Shot short, 3 seconds left, as Farrell will release the ball from about 3/4 of the way up the floor. The shot's offline. Soares can't put it back, and so Milford will head into the half with a hefty deficit staring up at them, 47-30. And all credit goes to this Middleboro team, playing fast, playing free, knocking down big shots, big defensive plays. An impressive start to the night for one of the Cinderella teams in this Division II bracket, the Middleboro Sachems. They've earned now a 47-30 lead here as we pause for halftime. About 10 minutes on the clock for halftime here in the Milford gym. So everyone who is tuned into our coverage, whether you're joining us locally on our educational channel or our Verizon HD channel, or you're part of our large YouTube audience that we have checking out the game here tonight, hang tight for the next few minutes, and we'll be back with third quarter action in just a little bit. Again, 47-30. Middleboro leads Milford in this coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics in the MIAA tournament here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail. About to get started with second half coverage in this MIAA round of 16 matchup between the number 22 seed Milford and the number 38 seed Middleboro. Coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV, and once again we want to welcome in our brand new presenting sponsor for our high school sports coverage here on Milford TV, the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Make sure you check out their beautiful new location right here in Milford, located at 223 Main Street. Absolutely outstanding food over there, terrific flatbreads, and a whole lot more. Milford looking for a whole lot more in this second half as they find themselves behind 47-30. A potent offensive attack from Middleboro throughout that first half, scoring in a variety of ways. There, a nice block on Youngquist, and now it's Farrell who goes coast to coast and puts it in for two to get this second half started. Milford would love to see a whole lot more of that. They were victimized by a number of turnovers in the first half. And now forcing another quick turnover, so a nice little spurt here in the first 40 seconds. Rivera was the Milford scoring leader in the first half with 11 points. Short on that three-point attempt, but Robinson positioned perfectly for the rebound. But now Rivera gets his pocket picked by Zach Kawanski. And now Robinson with an emphatic block. Nice bounce pass ahead to Soares, and the ball gets knocked away. Very active there on that trip up the floor. Your overall points leader at the half was Middleboro's Matt Youngquist with 18 points. Ryan Marzelli also in double figures for Middleboro with 11. Youngquist here going against Rivera. Dishes to the corner for three, and the shot, halfway down and then rims out. Milford will take it. This was hovering around a 10-point Middleboro lead until the late stages of the second quarter, where Middleboro was able to go on a nice run. And so meanwhile, they will count the bucket for Testa. And a foul is called on Marzelli, his second. And so Milford will inbound. Up top now to Soares. Finds Farrell fighting through contact. And so not quite a minute and a half into this third quarter, and that's already 3 team fouls on Middleboro, and the third foul called on Zach Kawanski. So another inbounds play here from Milford. They get it into Robinson, who tries to thread a pass into Rivera. And they'll call a kicked ball, and Milford will again have the chance to inbound. All the way out to midcourt for Testa, and then back to Soares. And now Farrell, he's going to get called for the travel. So the student section's re-engaging in the stands. It's been the battle in the stands and a good battle on the floor. And Youngquist, meanwhile, will pick up the first points of the second half for Middleboro. Drains the 5th three-pointer for this Middleboro offense. Rivera now slices through a double team, but cannot get that ball to roll in. Bad luck around the rim there for Rivera. Now Youngquist again from three-point territory. The shot no good. And we're going to get another foul here on Middleboro. So right now the Middleboro lead is at 16. Rivera just able to keep that pivot foot down, ends up finding Farrell, who takes it to the basket. That's 4 points in the third quarter so far for Farrell, 12 points in the game. And now a blocked pass. Rivera collapses down on the ball. They're going to call a jump ball. Possession arrow pointing in Milford's way. Surprising to see a jump ball called there as Rivera was on top of the basketball. As you can see now with the official trying to dry it off, it is a hot and muggy atmosphere here in the gym with all these bodies in here. It is cooking in the Milford gym, literally and figuratively. Testa now finds Farrell. Milford trying to ride the hot hand. Instead, it's back to Testa on the perimeter. His shot no good. Catino, a good job securing that rebound. He'll do it again. He puts it up and gets it in. Nice job there on that sequence by Catino. A couple of big rebounds and then gets the points himself. He's got 4 now on the night off the bench. And Milford shaving that deficit down a little bit more now to 12 points. But Youngquist, too easy there. He's got all the Middleboro points so far here in the third quarter. He's scored 5. Got 23 points in all on the night as timeout is called on the floor with 4 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We're so pleased to be here with you with this playoff coverage. Always exciting when we can get playoff coverage in here on Milford TV. We thought our winter sports coverage had come to an end. We were starting to put an eye towards our spring coverage, which will feature the baseball and softball teams, the boys and girls lacrosse teams, and the boys volleyball team, but not so fast. Coverage here for the Milford boys basketball team here tonight. A quick look ahead at this Division II bracket. The winner of this game tonight will play the number 14 seed Bedford High School in an Elite 8 matchup. There was another upset in the bracket as Bedford was able to defeat the number 3 seed Pope Francis in their round of 16 matchup. It was a 52-42 win for Bedford, so it is the number 14 seed that awaits the winner of this game here tonight. So it'll be a road game for one of these two teams regardless. But Middleboro has made themselves right at home on the road. All of their playoff games so far have been on the road. They've got 2 victories so far, and they've been in front here tonight in Milford right from the opening tip. Here's Rivera twisting and turning. He drops it in for 2. His first points of the second half, up to 13 on the night. Marzelli now directing traffic. Soares trying to stay close. Youngquist lurking beyond the three-point line as the contestant shot is no good. Catino pushes the tempo up ahead to Rivera. He goes over 2 defenders. He puts it in for 2 more. Back-to-back buckets for Andrew Rivera, and it's down to a 10-point deficit. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Youngquist now getting away from Rivera. He drops in the shot. Unbelievable shooting percentage here tonight for Matt Youngquist. Testa surprised by that pass, but he's able to recover. Now it's Rivera. He puts it in. Count it. And the foul. Rivera springing to life here with a quick 6 points and a chance for one more at the free throw line. Milford now in the bonus. Rivera calmly makes the free throw. And for the first time since about midway through the second quarter, this game is a single-digit deficit on the scoreboard, 54-45. As meanwhile, Milford loses Jackson Davenport, leads to the easy bucket. It's been that ball movement from Middleboro tonight that's allowed for some really easy looks right under the rim. Vera missing from three-point territory. Now Youngquist gunning that ball under the basket. There's Catino with a block. Ball goes out of play off of Middleboro. Catino doing a lot of work on the floor in his minutes tonight that won't show up on the score sheet, but he's made some big plays. Ticking down to 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Rivera from the near wing. Farrell, the three-point attempt, he sends it off the side of the backboard. That gets the Middleboro fans roaring. Rivera pestering defensively, and he'll pick up the foul. And no foul, ball goes out of bounds. Shot clock winding down here. Quick release on the shot for Aiden Gallant. He has made the most of his minutes tonight. He's made all three shots he's taken. He's got 8 points. Rivera now looking to respond. That shot rims out. Rebound controlled by Middleboro. The lead back up to 13 points now for Middleboro. Less than 90 seconds to go in the quarter. Rivera trying to strip from behind. Instead, a good look from the near wing. Count it for 2 points for Matty Evers. And Middleboro putting together another good close to a quarter after Milford had cut the deficit to 9. It's back up to 15. Rivera collects the ball back in. 53 seconds to go in the third quarter. And Soares will launch a deep three. It's no good. There is Catino again with an offensive rebound. Rivera, a little touch shot, no good. This time rebound pulled in by Youngquist. A bad time for Milford to drop off offensively. It's been a quick 6 points in response for Middleboro. Here's Youngquist now over Rivera. Shot is no good, rare miss for Youngquist. 15 seconds left now. Into Catino, now gun to the near wing for Rivera. Trying to sneak that pass into Catino, but the shot is blocked. And nothing doing on the other end for Middleboro, but again, a nice close to the period for Middleboro. It allows them to take a 60-45 lead into the final quarter. Milford has been struggling from behind through almost this entire night. And they'll need to have a big performance here in the fourth quarter if they're going to earn a comeback victory and keep their playoff hopes alive. Again, 60-45 the score. Very quick timeout here on the coverage. Fourth quarter comes your way next here on Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail. We return to the Milford Gym for the start of the fourth quarter, bringing you coverage of the Division II round of 16 matchup between number 22 seed Milford, number 38 seed Middleboro. Middleboro, one of the biggest underdogs in this Division II bracket, but nobody tell them they have been playing well throughout this tournament run. They get a bucket to pace this fourth quarter to up their lead now to 17 points on Milford. Rivera muscles one up and in. Rivera up to 20 points now on the night. Leaves him 25 points shy of 1,000 for his career as Youngquist answers quickly for Middleboro. Now Catino on the other end. Rapid fire buckets. It's a 16-point Middleboro lead. Still a lively atmosphere here in the gym as Youngquist now takes it to the basket. Quite a performance. Catino, meanwhile, up to 8 points off the bench. This ball knocked loose. Marzelli in some pain as Middleboro calls the timeout. Milford wanted a travel call there as Marzelli was hobbling around. Cramping up here, and understandable as, again, we've talked about the sweltering conditions here in the gym. Very hot, very humid conditions here with this capacity crowd. Always tends to run hot here in the Milford gym, and it's been a long physical game up and down the floor, and Marzelli right now trying to stretch out that cramp with the help of the Middleboro training staff. 6 minutes and 19 seconds remain, meanwhile, in this one. Hovering around that 16-point lead. Milford needs to go on a big run here if they have any hope of making a comeback. You got to give credit to this Middleboro crowd. I want to say it's about an hour drive from Middleboro to Milford, but a lot of these fans very happy to make the trip. And a lot of signs out in that Middleboro crowd as well. Some of the players' faces keep popping up with some other artwork in the crowd as well. So good student sections supporting their teams on both sides of the floor. As Middleboro inbounds the basketball, and then a physical block underneath the basket draws a whistle. That'll send Zakawanski to the line. The third foul of the night called on C.J. Farrell. These are the first free throw attempts of the second half for Middleboro. And fortunate for them, they have not needed the free throws. They've been able to hang on to the lead because it has been a dreadful free throw shooting night for the Sachems tonight. Meanwhile, Soares misses the three, but the rebound finds its way into the hands of Rivera. He misses the shot, and now the ball goes out of play. It will be Middleboro basketball. Milford trying to put some pressure on in the backcourt, but Middleboro easily able to advance. And then right at the end of the play, it looks like Luca Testa will pick up the foul. It's his first foul of the night. So Davenport now will try his luck from the line so far tonight, 0 for 2. Meanwhile, Rivera trying to mop up the sweat off this court. Milford crowd still engaged, trying to interfere with the concentration for Davenport. Results in another miss. And so Middleboro just 1 for 10 from the free throw line tonight. But again, they've made their shots when they matter most. And so meanwhile, they whistle that foul on Zach Iwanski, and that is his 5th foul, so he will take a seat for the rest of the night. Gets an arm around the shoulder from his coach, as now Rivera will shoot free throws. So 22 points now on the night for Andrew Rivera. On a night where he came in 45 points shy of 1,000 for his career. All kinds of chances under the basket there for Middleboro, but eventually Milford able to wrestle away the defensive rebound. Farrell tries to drop that shot in, it's no good. Too many empty trips up the floor for the Scarlet Hawks, as meanwhile Marzelli gets called for the travel. Rivera trying to cut his way in, gives way to Farrell. Farrell connects on a 4th quarter bucket. 14 points on the night for Farrell. Milford now with a chance to inbound with 4:56 to go. The Middleboro lead right now at 12. This ball comes all the way out to Farrell over towards the scorer's table. Now Rivera prowls around the perimeter. Marzelli will pick up his 3rd foul. This will send Rivera back to the free throw line. And again, right now the officials doing all they can to try to keep the court and the basketball dry for these players. The sweat pouring out of both of these teams after a long battle. Rivera can't connect on that 2nd free throw. Coutinho able to pick up the loose ball. And now knocked away out of bounds. And having a hard time seeing that corner of the court. It looks like Milford will have the chance to inbound. The Middleboro fans upset. Rivera from 3 It's no good. Catino puts it back and puts it in. Gus Catino with 6 points here in the fourth quarter. And so Milford cuts the deficit to 9. Now they pull off the steal. Trying to make things happen here late. Soares with a wide open look from 3, but that shot is short. Luca Testa picks up the rebound. And meanwhile, it's now the Milford fans upset with the official's call, as this will allow Middleboro to inbound. As Milford was feeling a sudden jolt of momentum. It's at a 9-point margin, as now Middleboro gets called for the travel. And if Milford can come away with some points here on this possession, it's going to start to make things interesting. Soares nearly losing the dribble. And now Catino will release a 3. Sent off the side of the rim, ball up for grabs. It's settled by Middleboro. Middleboro draining some clock. The Milford fans are alive once again, cheering on the defense. As this ball is loose, Farrell's ahead of the defense, and he puts it in for an easy 2. A 67-60 score as timeout is called on the floor, and perhaps this game not quite over. An uphill climb all night long for the Scarlet Hawks, but right now they find themselves within striking distance. It's a 7-point game with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and the Milford fans feeling a whole lot better than they did a few minutes ago. Milford still talking it over on the sidelines. Exciting conclusion on tap here in the Milford gym. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go as both sides now return to the floor. Milford with pressure in the backcourt, as Middleboro sends that pass out of bounds, but it was tipped out by Milford. To the backcourt for Marzelli. Back on the floor after stretching out that cramp earlier in the period. Ball loose. Rivera is able to come away with it. This will take us down inside of 3 minutes, but a crucial mistake at midcourt for Milford, as they'll say that Farrell committed the backcourt violation. Coach Olson conferring with the official in front of the scorer's table, but seemed to accept what was said, and a big mistake there. Perhaps a costly one for Milford. They get the turnover, and then they give it right back. A chance perhaps to cut this down to a 2-possession game or less, as meanwhile Youngquist makes the power move to the basket. And so a big exchange there for Middleboro as they push it back up to a 9-point lead. Farrell looking for Rivera, 2:35 to go. Back to Soares now. Farrell for 3, it's no good. Youngquist up for the rebound, and then he gets fouled. Call it on Catino. His first foul of the night. 3 team fouls on Milford, 2 on Middleboro here in the fourth. Milford Again with pressure in the backcourt, but Youngquist goes coast to coast and just has no problem. Once again elevating his play in crunch time. Farrell able to get one of those shots back, but again the lead at 9. Soars across the court to Farrell. Tries to thread that pass down low towards Coutinho. Less than 2 minutes to play. The Middleboro lead is 9. Bodies tangled up. As meanwhile, C.J. Farrell gets whistled for his 4th foul. And again, mop-up duty on the court. And while we have a quick pause in the action, just a quick update to those who have been active in our YouTube chat tonight. Milford played Neshoba Regional High School in the round of 32, not Nipmuc Regional. Those are 2 different schools. Just a heads up to some of the commentary going on in our YouTube chat. Meanwhile, Middleboro hacking away underneath the basket. They don't come away with points here. But again, coming down to the wire, 90 seconds left to play. As Rivera drives his way in, they wave off the bucket. Dylan Cavell, he picks up the foul. He's got 4 now. Meanwhile, a foul away from the play. And immediately Cavell picks up his 5th, so now he has fouled out. That's 2 players now fouled out on the Middleboro side, Iwanski and now Cavell. Farrell floats this inbounds pass into the hands of Andrew Rivera. And now looking for Coutinho, that ball out of his reach. But again, the Hawks will have a chance to inbound, now down to 1:22 on the clock. Up top now for Rivera. Milford taking a lot of time. Off balance shot. Again, they wave it off. They say the foul occurred on the floor, and Farrell cannot believe it. The Milford fans apoplectic. Farrell now will step to the line. Trying to cut further into this 9-point Middleboro lead. Pressure free throws. Farrell makes the first. Makes both shots. And so the Middleboro lead is 7. Milford trying to trap in the backcourt. They get the turnover. Coutinho to Rivera for 3, and he knocks it down. And all of a sudden, it is a 4-point game with 1:06 to go. They got the trap in the corner, forcing a quick pass from Middleboro, and again, Coutinho is there for the steal and sets up Rivera to knock down the biggest Milford shot so far of the night. And so it is a 4-point game now with 1 minute and 6 seconds left. Fully charged in the stands now. And so again, while we have a quick break in the action, we couldn't have asked for a better game to introduce our new presenting sponsor, the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. We've had a great audience tuned in for this game tonight, and again, we thank Rail Trail for an exciting partnership we're so happy to endeavor into with them as our presenting sponsor now moving forward. So again, make sure you check out the Rail Trail Flatbread Company and their new location here in Milford at 223 Main Street. Also a great location in Hudson as well. And so down to the wire here, 1:06 to go as Middleboro inbounds, and Rivera will commit the quick foul on Youngquist, stopping the clock with 1:03 to go. And so now both teams in the bonus. Youngquist will go to the free throw line. And so this is the first time on the night where the free throw shooting is going to come into play on the Middleboro side. They've made just one free throw on the night, 1 out of 10. What can they do here in this pressure-packed environment? And Youngquist misses the first. Oh for 5 from the free throw line here in the fourth quarter alone. And the second rims out, 2 misses. And Rivera comes away with the rebound. Milford down by 4 as Rivera goes to the basket, and the shot does not go. Catino locks up for the jump ball, and it's going to be Milford basketball. Farrell gets it in and now quickly swung around towards the near side. Up top now to Rivera, 45 seconds left as Rivera gets closed off. Soars for a deep 3, it's no good. Farrell tracks down the rebound in the corner, sends it out of play off of Middleboro for a big heads-up play for Farrell. Nowhere to go with the basketball, but sends it out off of Middleboro. And Milford playing right on the edge here in this final stretch, down to 35 seconds. Here's Rivera for 3. It's no good. And the basketball will go back to the Sachems. Milford with some chances there to cut further into this 4-point deficit, but now Middleboro will take over with 30 seconds left. Shot clock turned off, so expect a quick foul here for Milford. Quite a comeback effort here in the closing seconds for Milford, but is it going to end up being too little too late? Right now the Hawks have to count on the free throw shooting to keep being an issue for Middleboro. The inbounds pass and the quick foul. It's again Rivera who commits the foul, but fortunately it's just his second. And so back to Matt Youngquist. Youngquist with 33 points on the night. Only one of them has come from the free throw line, where he is 1 for 5. Makes the second, so the lead now is 5. Farrell connects on a quick bucket. He has 10 points now in this fourth quarter. Again, it was Rivera who had to commit the foul, so he now has 3. Now it's Marzelli who will try his luck at the line. His first free throws of the night. The lead back up to 4. And so a clean trip to the line for the first time all night for the Sachems. Rivera launches a quick 3, it's no good. Patino going after the rebound, and it looks like he will head to the line. Down to 11.1 seconds to go. A chance to make it a one-possession game. Outstanding free throw shooting here in the fourth quarter and really all night long for Milford. They're 7 out of 8 from the line in this fourth quarter. Overall, 16 out of 19 on the night. We didn't think free throws were going to come into play with the way that this game had been going for the majority of the night. But it has certainly helped keep Milford close. And still in it here, perhaps for one last gasp. A 3-point margin on the scoreboard, just 11.1 seconds remaining. Incredible finish to this Division II round of 16 matchup. Middleboro to inbound out of the timeout. And again, Milford with a quick foul. That might have been C.J. Farrell. I beg your pardon, it was Jake Soares with just his first foul on the night. Farrell has 4 fouls. Andrew Rivera now has 3 fouls. And it's back to the free throw line for Matt Youngquist. And so all of a sudden now, Middleboro can't miss. They've made their last 4 in a row. The lead back up to 4 with one more free throw to go. Youngquist makes them both. Down to 8 seconds. Farrell a quick release for 3. It's offline. Here's Rivera. He tries to muscle it in. No good. 2 seconds and 1. And they call for the jump ball with 0.9 seconds left. And reality setting in now on the Milford side. Middleboro gets it in for the final buzzer. It was a valiant comeback effort here in the fourth quarter for Milford. They came surging back. They made this a game in the end. At one point as low as a 1-possession deficit, but the early lead built up by Middleboro is able to hold up as their Cinderella story continues in this Division II bracket. They eliminate Milford, winning this game tonight by a final score of 76-71. And so again, this terrific run through the playoffs continues for this number 38 seed. Started with the number 27 seed Reading, then knocking out 6-seeded Hopkinton, now taking out the 22 seed in Milford. And another intriguing matchup awaits them a couple of days from now, as they will take on the number 14 seed Bedford High School, a 16-win team in the regular season. And unfortunately, Milford's season will come to an end. And as we start to digest some of the final numbers on the night here tonight, looks to be 26 points is the final line for Andrew Rivera tonight. So it will be very fascinating to see when the schedule comes out for this boys basketball team for the winter season of 2024-2025. Certainly hoping that the opening game of the season comes here in the Milford gym, as Rivera will enter into his senior season just 19 points shy of 1,000 for his career. So that will very likely come on the opening night of the season. So that'll be one of the first things to look out for this team for next year. But also a lot of optimism in this program in general. It was an up and down season, but they were able to make their way back into the playoffs. They earned their first playoff victory since 2000 with that win against Neshoba last Friday night, and a very competitive game here tonight against a tough Middleboro team, and unfortunately coming up just shy. But a lot of the nucleus of this team will be back for another run at it next season, and another year under the belt for head coach Dana Olson. Expect this team to be very competitive when they come back to the floor for the winter season of 2024-2025. So we will look forward to seeing what this team can do next season, but that's going to wrap things up for this coverage here tonight, and it officially brings a close to our winter sports season coverage. So we'll have a couple of weeks here in a hiatus for our sports coverage, but again, we'll be back very soon with coverage of the spring sports season. And again, that will bring with it coverage of the Milford High School baseball team, softball team, the girls and boys lacrosse teams, and the boys volleyball team. So we will have a whole lot of coverage coming up for you in the spring. And again, so happy to be partnering with Rail Trail as our official presenting sponsor of our sports coverage moving forward here on Milford TV. But that is going to wrap things up here for tonight. I want to acknowledge our great Milford TV crew hanging tough through some challenging elements here in the Milford gym tonight to bring you this playoff action. Our director for the game tonight is Patrick Garapi, and our camera operator is our Milford High School intern Kyle Barlow. And I am Tim Coette. That final score, one final time, 76-71. Middleboro defeats Milford. The Scarlet Hawks eliminated from the playoffs, and the Sachems move on to the round of 8. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. So long, everybody.